So I'm Brian, checking in from Krakow and on the very tail end of a long COVID. So I'm happy to see you all again. Yeah.
I'm Annelies, calling in from Vreeland, the Netherlands. And we have sun. It's amazing. I haven't seen sun for a long time now. And I feel as if my heart is expanded in the last few days after shedding a lot of tears, which probably were not mine, but it was like as if we are cleansing so many tears for, well, maybe Europe, maybe beyond. So, yeah, thank you for being here with you together. Yeah.
Juliet calling in from Cork, Ireland. Lovely to see you, John. Welcome. Yeah, my body is going through a lot. I'm not sure what it's doing. It seems to kind of be melting down and going through all kinds of things. So I'm kind of sitting as the observer, and just accepting and seeing the divine in everything. Thank you.
Well, I'm John Raymer. I'm here in Whidbey Island in the Salish Sea. And we are enlightening our way together. So that's why I am up and that's why I'm here. So grateful for it. It's extraordinary time. So happy to be part of this. It's been on my calendar a while, and I said, wait a minute, I could stay up a little bit longer and join you.
Sweet.
It's wonderful. It's 1:35 in the morning, right?
Kara was my inspiration.
Thank you, Kara. Well, we're just checking in. Kara and Anya, welcome. I'm Hasina, checking in from Newcastle, South Africa, and just being in the space of peace and releasing and calming after a really busy morning. So I'm just enjoying the space of togetherness. Anya and Kara, whoever wants to check in.
Good morning to each and every one of you. I just dropped in a few minutes later, and yeah, I just heard a little bit through the connection of a dizzy morning. So I sat in meditation this morning and deeply connected to the voice of Mother Earth to bring my own voice into being. And yesterday I went into a little bit of the space of being in an oracle state, which I'm doing constantly at the year end and going into the visions for the new year. And I'm practicing I Ching, so this from the Chinese traditions and in this environment. So I went into that space to have a look into, and yeah, that's where I am actually just listening, deep listening to what's coming up. And what came up is that I enjoy and digest what's coming from outside, and it's nourishing me. and from deep inside, from the silence, is coming through my mouth with the words what I have to spread to the world. So I'm here with that, digesting silence and what's coming out. So I bless you with that, and a good morning to each and every one of you.
Last night we had the Artist Catalyzing Evolution call for the evolutionary leaders in the artist section. And we're focusing on creating safe spaces for diversity and inclusion. And so I felt like it was really, I feel like it was a nice, timely way that we were opening space to share what are the struggles and how do we become and how do we crack this nut sort of people feeling welcome and diversity being embraced, and how to really talk about it and work through all those tensions together in a good way. And so I think that, just thought that was really great timing for the unity and justice, unitive justice kind of space that we're holding, and how to create equality and just do that work together. So that felt a nice, beautiful space opening there. And this morning I'm just slightly tense because I'm just sort of doing the admin part, getting all my events up on the One World and sort of like just do it. So I just kind of still just working with that. Yeah. Trying to get it done. And then the kids, my daughter's home sick and the dog's eating the tree. And
Thank you, Kara. Well, seeing that we have John here, which is really great. John, I don't know if you want to share about One World and all of that with the Enlightening Our Way Together, and then maybe Kara, after John, you could share about what you just talked about, that the safe spaces and so on.
I'd love to, actually. Kara referenced what I was referring to. I'm trying my best to learn from what we've done, but be open to new things. So Kara said, well, wait a minute. Why do I need to use your Trello boards? Why don't I just put the events up in One World? I said, oh boy. So, okay, we'd have to create a new space in One World, which we did for unitive justice and unitive economics. But I realized, since I don't have a clue, then I saw the events on the Hague Center site. I said, okay, wait a minute. We have a website. We're learning how to do things together, but we're not quite doing them together. So it's okay. Sometimes you got to break things. So can I show you my screen? And maybe you haven't seen this yet. And I want to be supportive. That's part of why I stayed for this. That's what I meant by, so it's fine to try new things out. And I really wanted to do that here. So here, don't laugh at my windows when I show you my, I have a few tabs open here, okay? But
Looks like mine.
I like that. It's creativity.
crazy. It's crazy. So this is enlightening our way together. Okay. In One World, you call these collections, like this little twisty here. Inside there's all these different spaces. And there's a hub, as you know, where people can come and they can get support for what they're doing. They can participate. There is this global fire ceremony room. And in this, there's now these events. And lots of them in there that you know about, and some of which you don't. But we want you to know about them. So we've created another space here. I just made up this image and some text to make it clear. This is unitive justice and economics. But if you look here, there's no events. Oh, there's now a couple. This one I put in, but these have been added. Thank you for doing these, Kara. I guess you're the one doing these. Or maybe it was Summer.
Yeah, I'm doing them now. I was just catching up.
All right,
It didn't work
fabulous.
yesterday, that's all.
Because I thought maybe that I could come and clear up any confusion about this, right? But the idea here is to make it so that you can then take these events and then share these events out, which is what we've been doing. So you can take an event like this, open it up, and then share it, put it out on social media, but then it will become part of the overall event that we're doing. And I thought it might be helpful if there were any questions to be present just to help clarify things.
Yeah, I
And
do have a question.
yeah,
Some of the events it's like it's about our room, but it's in the global fire and ceremony room. So I was wondering if I can tag them both and have that event show up in both, or if I need to, like, do I duplicate the event and put them in both, or do I just have it in my space? I was wondering what the best way to approach that would be.
well, the different spaces. So if you want to create the event, you could duplicate it.
Mhm.
But we do have events in the Global Fire Ceremony Room that are, quote, your events that you're hosting.
Yeah, but they're happening in the global fire and ceremony room.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's something new we're trying. So let's look here. So let's see. I go back here, right? If I go into the Global Fire Ceremony Room and look for the events there are some here. I've seen them. This one here, right? I think this might be an event.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah.
So it's still in here,
Okay.
and it's happening in the Global Fire Ceremony Room, so it's here.
Okay.
But it could be duplicated. You could duplicate the event and put it in both places if for whatever reason you want to. I don't know. I'm willing to try things out. We'll see what makes the most sense. Every event in the Global Fire Ceremony Room may not all be in that same Zoom meeting,
Oh, okay.
right? It's a detail. It's a conceptual space, right?
Okay.
And the reason why it might appear in both places is because we don't want other events to be happening in parallel during that time. So you could duplicate it in that way so that if people were just looking at what's next, whether
Yeah.
they're looking from the Unitive Justice Room or the Global Fire Ceremony Room, that same event would appear. So we could duplicate it if you want.
Yeah. So then why couldn't we just have all the events in there? Why does it have to have a new space?
Well, we're not stewarding the rooms. We're not stewarding those events that are in the Unitive Justice. You guys are. Adriana's
Yeah.
not stewarding the events that you're having there.
No. But if that one space is all the whole schedule, what's next, then you can have them all there?
not.
No. Oh, that's what I just thought you said, so I didn't understand.
No. And if you look, what I did was on the Global Fire website,
Mhm.
I've tried, what we've done there to accommodate you is here. So if I go to the events now, I've put this Unitive Justice here. So if people click off of the website, it'll take them to the events here.
Yes.
So
Show that
the
again. I missed that. Can you just show that again?
Yeah. So on the website,
Yeah.
so where we would usually post the events, you see here I have the Global Fire Ceremony Room, Unitive Justice, Supernova Room. So if I go,
Something's not showing. I'm seeing something different. Oh, there. Okay. I think it's just flow.
sorry, hold on, let me try
Yeah.
again. So let me see. All right, hold on. So are you seeing now the one world? But if I click here, you should still see the Global Fire Ceremony Room.
There, now I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So Global Fire website has off the events.
There we go. Okay.
I've now put the Unitive Justice and Economics Room as a separate option. So if people come here and they say, well, let me see the events, the idea of sorting them into rooms is topical. It's a way of grouping them by areas of interest and by who's stewarding them. So when I click there, it'll take me to all the events that are here in the Unitive Justice and Economics Room.
So it's not like the Peace Week Convergence where you can see like what's at each time. You go to the specific room. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
There isn't an all events. And this is because I was trying to be flexible.
Okay, great. And oh, I lost it. No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you said earlier that for the Global Fire Space, it's all the ones that you're stewarding. You and I, Joanne, are stewarding. They're not necessarily all in the same Zoom room, but they're all being stewarded by you guys.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
John, I'd like to ask a question.
Sure.
uh, Because Lisa and I have been offering Monday groups. And the place that I initially placed it was under mission statement. And when because of the break when I was away, we scheduled 3 of them for December. This coming Monday is the last until we come back from our Christmas break. And we'll probably start them again in January as a weekly session. But it seems like what you're describing now is that I really have it placed in a place that really doesn't get a bigger viewing of what's possible for that weekly gathering. So is there a different place to post when we start, when we schedule that starting in January again?
Okay. So in one world, the 4 top options on the left, let me show again, are global. So there's a place for events and you will see all the events there. So let me show you what I mean. So over here on the left side, so for events, your event, like all the events, will show up here across all the different spaces. I'm using that language to speak in the Mighty Network language. Each of these are spaces, right? You're in a space of Missions 2023. If I go to events here, right? But it's not limited to just being here. It'll also appear inside of this events because these are global across all the spaces. Now, you might want to, this is an experiment, but maybe Unity of Justice and Economics has a life beyond enlightening our way together and could be the home for the events you're doing. Or the Global Fire Ceremony Room could be. There's no right or wrong, but all the events do get posted here. So if your concern is making sure that everyone sees it, that will be whatever space you're in, events will appear in the events feature on the left there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to see you, Brian. My love to Lisa.
Yeah, thank you, John.
And this is an extraordinary time. That's part of why I'm here. I really feel more present to the moment and receptive to serve in whatever way we can. I will share one thing. There was, during the 99 days, we did this course on radical collaboration by teaming up. By Dr. Tamsin Woolley Barker led this course. And I know it was at an odd hour, so maybe many of you didn't participate. But it was really a breakthrough for me personally. And maybe some of you know the work of Danella Meadows. She hasn't been alive for a long time, but her work endures. And she's a thinker about systems change. And she talked about structure and processes, but she also talked about paradigms. And a paradigm conversation is a really challenging one because in my life, we don't often think about how we're thinking about things. And There's this quote from Peter Senge I love. He says that we don't understand what we see. We see what we understand. Right? So Tamsin talked about different paradigms. And she introduced a fourth paradigm that I had never thought of before. So there's a paradigm they call extracting value. You know, how do I make sure I'm getting what I need here? Parasites do that too. Part of it is you have to learn how to deal with parasites and our own parasitic behavior. She talked about principles. But there's also another paradigm of arresting disorder. I'm going to stop all the bad stuff in the world. Cease fire. It's another way of operating in the world. Another paradigm, doing good. Oh my God, the missionaries believed they were doing good. I thought, and I've been doing good for a long time. Not always are you doing good when you think you're doing good. But this fourth paradigm was a breakthrough for me. Evolving potential. Evolving potential. And realizing that collectively there's so much potential. And learning how to unlock that potential. Well, the next discovery, I promise this is all I'm going to, but you'll get this, I hope, was I discovered what stops evolving potential. And Patricia Ann Davis introduced me. Have you ever heard the term wetiko? Wetiko. Yeah. This is the collective mind virus. This is the psychosis of spirit. This is what Patricia calls the deficient self-image. So we wrote this article about mighty compassion and breaking our collective spell. And it's one of the topics we're going to be talking about. I'd never heard of Wetiko, and oh my God, the last couple months, there was a book written called Columbus and Other Cannibals. It's insatiable greed. You can never get enough. And when Benjamin Netanyahu called for mighty vengeance, I said, oh my God, we need mighty compassion. How we get above the blame and stop competing over whose suffering is more valid than someone else's. Patricia says all killing is a betrayal of Creator. And who's committed to our collective survival? We shall see here. So I'm excited that Patricia is going to be a key part of this, as is Tamsin, and what we're doing in the days to come. And this Native American term of wetiko is really, I'm going to give you a link to it. It's worth exploring. For me, the only other thing I ever heard that explained the problems of the world was when someone told me the wisdom of Cosmic Lady. She said that planet Earth is the place that the souls of the slow learners are sent. I said, oh my God, if that's true, it totally explains why I'm here, why we're all in this mess, why we are recruiting each other in our own demise. Planet Earth is the place that the souls of the slow learners are sent. I said, wow. So anyway, so here's a link to Mighty Compassion, Breaking Our Collective Spell. May it be a comfort to you and your journey as we look to make sense of this time. And what Tico is talked about here in this article, the reference that I point to, I'll put in the chat as well. And there's a session in your room that Diana Douglas said, oh, I know about Wetiko. There's a guy who's written 3 books on the subject. Here's the last thing on this, and then I'll. A contagious psycho-spiritual disease of the soul. Operates in the unconscious blind spots, rendering people oblivious to their own madness and compelling them to act against their own best interests. A sickness of the spirit. So, on that happy note, but if we all got it, there's something kind of comforting about it. And if you think you're not, oh, no, that's not me. No, that's a sure sign you got it, okay? So may we find a new way to love each other and care for each other. That's the mighty compassion.
John, I just want to thank you so, so much. You are amazing, you and Summer, and what you're organizing and bringing together for so many of us is just incredible. And so many thanks to both of you from the very depths of my heart. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank
So
you, Juliet.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Ditto, ditto.
thank you guys. I love you guys. And, I took Phil and his wife Satita and son to go see this movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. You guys heard about this? Martin
No.
Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio. It is Wetiko. It's the story of the Osage people in America who were pushed off their land 2 times, and they made their tribe live in a place where they figured no one would ever want to go. This is a true story. And then they became the richest people in the world when there was oil found on their land. You'll hear about the movie. It's going to win the Academy Awards. It was so amazing, and the story is really frightening. Leonardo DiCaprio, it's an unbelievable performance. Wetiko. Killers of the Flower Moon.
John, have you ever watched the very short film by Charles Eisenstein, A Gathering of the Tribe?
I really love that one.
All right.
I do love it. It's really all Ben Bowler's fault. As far as
Right.
I'm concerned, it's that Ben Bowler character.
Oh my gosh, who would have thought I'd run into John Raymer and bridging continents in Europe, and he's there everywhere. Hi, Hasina. Hi, how you doing? Hi, everyone.
Good. So
Oh
great
my
to have you with
goodness.
us.
Oh, it's-
Don't we have a treat today?
How funny, how funny. I just wanted to just drop in. Sorry to interrupt. I don't interrupt. Just wanted to come in and say hello. Normally on Thursdays I have Liam, but it's school holidays at the moment, so we have a different groove. So just happy to be here and be a part of the circle for a little while. And great to see you, Juliet, and Brian and everybody, Anya and Cara, of course, and Suzanne again, beautiful, and Annalise. So, and John Raymer, oh my goodness, he's here as well. So isn't that a funny thing? But beautiful. Blessings from Melbourne. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to share anything? Please, I mean, take the floor.
Well, I mean, just thank you everybody for the prayers and the presence, for what we all did together in Dubai. I know Anna Marie. Is Anna Marie here? I don't know if she is, but it was I mean, you were all present through Anna Marie and through all of us. And it was so important having Anna Marie there, representing, a different kind of dynamic to, say, our other delegates who were religious, spiritual leaders. And so having, the Hague Center for Global Governance represented, and this bridging continents and everything, that Anna Marie was representing was really important and very powerful. And it spoke to a deeper, broader kind of unity that we were holding there in Dubai together collectively. And it was a very blessed experience and participation for Unity Earth and all of our partners to participate in the Faith Pavilion and in the Theatre of Digital Arts, the Consciousness for Change program. It was amazing. In fact, I was just watching some of the program from the Theatre of Digital Arts, the interview with the Green Sheikh. It's really amazing, amazing content that happened in Dubai. You can see it on Unity Earth TV. But thank you for all of your love and prayers and support. It was we felt it, and John, we felt yours coming from the big group across the United States and in Europe and right around the world. And we were very intercontinental. We had Africa well represented through Musi and Rocky, and Asia through Audrey's lineage and Salman Chisti, and Australasia through myself, and America through Peter Blaze. I mean, it was and Anna Marie, Europe, it was actually very intercontinental. Central America through Mindahi and his daughter, and Mindahi's daughter who came and spoke at the Faith Pavilion. So this bridging continents was very present, and just wanted to acknowledge that. And we felt the international, intercultural, intercontinental, interspiritual, dynamic that we were representing this big, beautiful family around the world. And we felt that very strongly. And, what unfolded there is we just, of course, were one little tiny drop in this big, huge ocean of things that were happening in Dubai. But it was, it's something very significant and very important. So happy to report back, Hasina, that it was a great success, and we're very satisfied with the efforts and the outcome. And obviously, much more to do. We're on the verge of enlightening our way together, which is very exciting. And I know many of you are very deeply involved in that with Brother Phil and Adriana and John and all the teams. And very excited. I'm very excited about this next period of time. I think the work that you're doing and that we're doing together is about to take a real big J curve up into impact. We can feel that turning of that corner very, very steeply now. And this next, hold on tightly, because this next year or year and a bit is going to be really something I think we've all prepared ourselves for many, many, many years. So it's wonderful to see such a big, beautiful group here. And, thank you that this weekly pulse has been going, for so long, way back to the summer of 2020, where we started weekly calls with Anna Marie and Cara, and just to feel that continuation of all of this is continuing to pulse from the heart. I'm very grateful and honored to be here, and just deep love and respect and gratitude to everybody for what you've been holding and what we're holding collectively and together. And what John's up to and all the beautiful things that are coming down the line. It's just exponential growth. And Brian, I wore my holo on with great pride and love everywhere I went in Dubai. And just feeling very connected to everybody here. And thank you, deep love. Thank you, Juliet, for all that you're holding. And I'm excited, Cara, to be on some of your programs coming up next week. And it's all coming together in a beautiful way. So thank you, Hasina, for the opportunity to share. I wasn't intending to, but I'm happy to share that from my heart to yours.
Can I slip in a quick question, Ben? Quick question. I heard that Convergence in September in Japan is being planned. Will that be Peace Week there? Is that the intent, or something?
That's the dates. That's the dates. In fact, it's U-Day 2024, Land of the Rising Sun. And that's a series that goes all the way back to Thailand. And, John and others have been with us in Ethiopia for the Land of Origins and Holy Land, Living Water. So this U-Day 2024, Land of the Rising Sun, will happen across Peace Week, Brian. Yeah, so it's roughly around the 15th to the 22nd. In fact, 14th to the 22nd is probably the dates. we're still very early on in the process, but yeah, it's something to be aware of. And I think there'll be a large gathering there, as there will be in other parts of the world as well, for Peace Week and Peace Day. But certainly Unity Earth and our partners will be leading a delegation and a caravan to Mount Fuji, to Tokyo, Convergence, and the Fuji Fields of Healing. It'll all be coming together there in September. So we'd love you all to come, and we'll be obviously revealing details as they become clear.
Thank you so much.
Well, it's such a great treat to have both you, Ben, and John, and just want to say such a big thank you to both of you, and to Caro, who's been working so hard on enlightening our way together, and Becky Suzek, and of course Anna Marie, who's, you know, always kind of just being the center of so much. And yeah, so much love and gratitude, especially with what's happening in the world, that we can come together, and you give us the space and you facilitate it and you make it safe. So thank you so much for that. And if either of you want to share, like, what's your vision, so that we can all share that together for, you know, I know you've spoken as to what's happening, but, you know, maybe both of you just, what's the vision? What would make your heart sing in 2024 with everything?
Well, you know, we're doing it. This is the challenge as I see it. Tamsin says it this way: the situation is caused by the patterns, and the patterns are caused by the relationships. If we change our relationships, we can create new patterns, and then those new patterns will lead to a new situation. So we're doing it. The agreements we're making with each other. The example I use is in the Sign Network, where we have the trusted sharing be a part of what we're doing for each other. And that is what I feel needs to change more than anything, is what we can do for each other and what we can do together by generating new patterns. So that's where this idea of evolving potential. I now have a place to stand in these conversations. I look at the joy in this room and the generosity of spirit that's here. How do we unlock that potential? So how do we advance each of the genius that's in all of us here? The way out of this wetiko is creative imagination. So being more present to what's possible and jumping on that. You know, we did this exercise, this 4 steps where everyone declared, it says, because I believe, you fill in the blank. I am called to, you fill in the blank. In a way that, fill in the blank. So that. So in other words, because I believe we're better together, I'm called to work with each of you and all of us in a way that enlightens our way together, so that we could say that we were a part of the great turning that is everyone's wish for right now. And we've spelled that out. That's like a new pattern, right? Most of us, when we get together, we just don't really know how to get to know each other. Boy, that has changed my relationship. And we're encouraging people to put that in your profile in One World and start to see those similarities. I'll drop that little exercise in the chat. That came out of the radical collaboration that we did. So my hope is we know each other and we move together in unprecedented ways. Thank you for asking. Thank you for being such a good host, Hasina.
it's easier when you have such amazing people.
Mm.
Sorry, Anya, did you want to say something?
Yeah, thank you for seeing. Just shortly, I want to share that I was so deeply touched by this asking for after the collective spell. So what I want to share just shortly is that I made myself ready to be receptive for receiving, let me say, prayers that are still valid. Prayers that are still valid. So I turned to visit ancient places and asked for the prayers that are still valid. So what I saw is that there are some places we should visit. We did not visit in this regard and called for the still valid prayers. So recently and last Sunday, I was in a museum where a huge bunch of ancient goddesses, which are European, really European mindset, which is not really present in the world. So we're going to far away land and having the possibility to take references on because we understand better somebody else explaining what we don't understand. So, but we are not asked as white ones, as Germans, as Europeans after our goddesses and the prayers. And I was really receptive that they are still valid and they want to be seen. So they want to be seen. And what I also saw is that, and that's what I have behind me, I visited a glacier in Europe. And there also are prayers still valid. So the prayers that are valid, for example, are, please, glacier, retreat, go away, let me live here. So when a prayer like that is active, then it's not nourishing me with water because it's retreating. So some kind of collective spell thinking like that, that whatever prayer is still valid, it's not the Christian thing that exactly there a church is placed. No, people, ancient people that were there and dealt with the spirits, with the local spirits, called for something which is still valid. So it's just something I want to share in this group, that it's worth to look at those places and just be receptive in terms of spell, which prayer, so a positive thinking, which prayer is still active. And this is something we can look after in the shamanic way of thinking, okay, changing the paradigm, because that's what we're doing in shamanic way. We look at those contracts and prayers and ask to change it. So I just want to share it here. That's a little bit different from spell and this magic things, being it in a neutral state of a prayer that is still active. And it had been human beings that prayed for that. So to honor them and say, okay, it's still valid and I saw you. It's just something I want to share because it's really dear to my heart.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Annalise, before we get to you, then if there's anything else, I know I asked about, any vision or anything that would make your heart sing in 2024, but I didn't quite get to you. If there's anything else you'd like to share, feel free.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. It's just really lovely to be here in this group. Feeling the joy of reconnecting with the European hemisphere here. I think that there's so much that could be said. Well, one thing that struck me again, being on the ground in Dubai and meeting so many different groups, through Tammy Scarlett from Unify and many others, we met many different groups like us, but not entirely like us. Different, maybe more focused on ecology or technology or financial solutions or just a little bit a sort of parallel in a way to the sort of consciousness community that the big we here is really connected to. And I know we cover a lot of ground, but just really awesome to feel and to experience just how many people have got a calling on their life right now. It's more than we could ever imagine. And I just, the real message from that is just for us to keep going, keep doing what we're doing, keep showing up, keep these convergences going, keep pushing the envelope on technology like John and Cara and others do, keep moving forward, keep growing and keep going. Resources are there, networks are there, partnerships are there, alliances are there. It's all right. It's not even at our fingertips anymore. It's literally within us. So that capacity and the millions and millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions of people who have got a sincere and deep and authentic calling upon their life, I'm more convinced than ever, is just about to really enter that phase of in the crystalline, in saline water. There is a moment when it just clicks, and all of a sudden it changes state from liquid to crystal. And we're living through that change of state, and what an exciting and a joyful, and the difference is it's no longer just imminent. It's no longer just around the corner, almost there. We've reached, and now we're beyond a kind of a tipping point. And these series of cascading miracles that we're living in are only going to increase. So we just keep showing up, keep being us, doing you, knowing what's ours and what isn't ours is important too, I think, for every individual and group and organization, as we get clarity around that. And we're getting better at all of that and connecting, collaborating, showing up as a broader we through people like John continue to champion that and many others. So yeah, it's a pretty historic moment, and turning that corner and getting on the other side of that tipping point. And I'm not saying it's all going to be easy from here, but I do think we can take a moment to breathe and enjoy the journey, because we've been pushing, some of us here have been pushing for 30, 40 years, 40, 50 years, 50, 60 years. So, for us to be able to take a breath and enjoy this eve of enlightening our way together, and beyond that, it's the 7 days of rest. And beyond that, it's the symposium in February, and then beyond, 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 and then beyond. But it's good just to take a breath and to feel we have arrived, and the gratitude and the joy and the victory and the sense of power that's in the group and in the groups, and the humility that comes with that realization is a beautiful thing. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Annalise, I know you had your hand up, and if you'd like to say something, I'd like to honor that. I just want to be mindful of giving Cara space also to share. So, yeah. So go ahead.
Yes, I do want to say something. It's also because of the honoring of this space, which is so beautiful in diversity. And what I like to reverse for the coming year is that we are sent as a soul to Earth, not because we're so slow, John, but also because we have to be a little slow so that spirit can truly evolve through us in this embodied being and live enlightenment in a body. So we're probably the first species out there which are able to do so. And I also want to honor every one of you. And not for the honoring, but because we're one. But it's really essential to me to see that we are all bringing this special gift to this place, and that it's not always seeable, or that's not always tangible, and that the beauty of that, I feel, is that I felt so encouraged by knowing that you were at that COP28, that I did not have to do that I could be on another place, that I could feel that I was connected through that, and with people who are suffering from mental health issues, who are very enlightened often. I could bring in this feel of, this is where we're going, this is where we're heading, seeing that spirit is the missing element. I do not mind how we call that, but this is about a trusted sharing, that we bring in, that we are so much more than this body who is in a certain place, or is in a certain way, or acts, or, but also by just being, expanding our love, expanding that we are what we are doing in this room very, very often, being this special species, living there through, making this heart field expand and grow. And so I really want to honor that and bring that. And I'm sorry, 2 minutes, Asina. I hope Kara has enough space. Thank you for
Thank
listening.
you. Thank you so much. Kara, is there something you'd like to share? Because you've been working so hard on this convergence, and I know it means a lot to you.
I think, have we run through what are some of the events happening in the unitive justice space? Would you guys like to hear about some of those, or I'm just wondering what would be valuable and helpful?
Okay. All of you who would you like to? Well, Kara, why don't you maybe just, I can't remember who was here last week, so maybe you could just go through that.
Can I ask you a question, Kara, just before we go through what's happening in the room? How are you feeling about, on the eve of enlightening our way together, and sort of the bigger picture, sensory kind of, how are you, and what are you sensing? Why is it so important? What are you feeling we're on the verge of?
Oh, great, thanks. Yeah, I think I needed that question. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I really feel like the purpose and the promise of the continuing these World Unity Week vision convergences is that we're building energy as a movement. So we're networking, we're getting to know each other, we're becoming friends, we're becoming colleagues by doing all the travel stuff together. Now we really trust each other and can work together online and make things happen. And you join, Latina joined the Hague Center. You guys all, we did the Healing for Rising together, and then I had a vision for, I want to bring a D into the world, and you guys were like, yeah, and joined me, and I was like, oh, I can do it because someone will receive it, yay. And so like we're really building up each person's dream together. And Tina got her book out, and Suzanne is doing amazing journeys and asking for support. And so that, and then when Carmilla had a terrible traumatic thing happen in her day, and she said, oh my God, who's here to hold me? I am 4 people. She said, I'll hold you, and so it's just this like beautiful, rich, strong space and community that we're building. And so then we're coming up to, on that next sort of wave of the curve, is we're becoming the creators of a new system of influence. So what Harry and Brand Earth are envisioning to do to try and get large sums of money shifted into our movement, I'm envisioning that too. I was like, well, what if we could create big, more structured things together that bring in a lot of revenue, so that our movement really can really like become a big organization. And so those are some of the ideas I'll be bringing forward with Felipe. And how do we get and then David Gershen's Peace on Earth game is about sort of connecting all the little neighbors, all the little pockets into it. So everyone has a little tribe like we have. Like this space is so precious to us on these Thursday mornings where we like be and become co-create, so that if everyone, if we cultivate that more and more people have those spaces and build those spaces for people in their area, that all becomes this swelling of the wave that's sort of ready. And then as we, as the conscious co-creators and the visionaries and the technologists get together and really build this, how do we take Anna Luce's how do we take eco-governance and Anna Luce's constitution and put those together, then actually start enacting them, actually start becoming them, actually start paying each other for these services. And then we're becoming this, we have the energetic vision, we have the systemic, the social trust, we have the structured sharing, the structured resource ability of building a conscious economy. And then we have all the people who are connected and trusting and loving to then say yes. So then as we build it together, they're there and they could sign up and get the account, and you start using the alternative currency or whatever it is that we kind of come up with together. So I just really feel that it's the whole, everything is really starting to converge now and come together, and we're really ready. Like there's nothing quite there. Like there's lots of all the pioneering pieces are in place. And we can now start to put them together and weave them into an actual functioning system. And that we can do that together. And it's our job to do that, because it's not the business people's job, and it's not the government's job to do that. It's not to hope that some people in somewhere else will make some big decisions and declarations. It's our job to build the conscious governance and economics, and we can. And we have a lot of skills to build. We have a lot of people to bring in, but it is our job, because we see it and live it and love it so much. And so that's the vision and impetus that I'm holding, and that ceremony is a really important, prayer is a really important part of base of that, and then we keep building it into the more 3D grounded structures from that. So that's that's what I love. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
I think that's all the time. So you can go on the website, go on One World, and look at our schedule and see what you want to join in.
That was awesome, Karen.
Yeah, Kara, if you can just put the website in the chat. Yeah.
Sure. I think this will get us there. So there's two ways to get there. You can go on to Google and type in Enlightening Our Way Together, and the first thing will come up will be that Global Fire Ceremony Earth website that John was showing us. And then you can go in the menu and go down to events, and that'll take you to the One World, or you can go directly to the One World and find it there in the spaces.
Thank you.
Or here's the link just to the events in the Unitive Justice Room. You could do it that way too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's put that in the chat.
Chat too. Yeah, that will take you right to the events in Unitive Justice and Unitive Economics. You know, I heard this guy describe today the situation this way of our moment in time. Imagine in the 1600s, all of a sudden, all the technology of our world today appeared. The king would say, "Oh my God, get me the knights, call the knights." Well, it seems like the technology of 2040 has just landed in our world. And we really don't know what to do with this. The implications of how the limits of what's possible have changed. You know, we wrote that paper, AI doesn't care, you do. But oh my God, what you can do with AI is unbelievable. And this is kind of one of these moments when I think we're all really wondering what's now possible. And what is it to be humane? What is it to be a human being? What is ours to do? Thank you, Kara. Just, if we don't change our direction, we're going to wind up where we're headed. But I sense we're changing. I really do. There's a receptivity. That's why things like paradigms, things like thinking about how we're seeing things, and that we see what we understand. Maybe we need to change the way we understand things. It can't be an accident. I mean, maybe it is an accident, but I don't know. I'm operating as if No, this is the family that I was born to be a part of and to serve and to get the joy of working through these challenging moments. And they say that the world that we bring forth with others, and it's only love that can let us bring it forth. Let love lead the way.
It's not an accident. I truly believe that what we see as polarities is just feeding into the whole purpose and intention, so that we can see the light brighter because we know the darkness, and even that shows us what we don't want and what we really do. So not an accident. I know we haven't heard so many voices here. I'm wondering for checkout, let's all check out with one word so that we can at least hear Suzanne's voice and Sabina's. And Brian, I don't even know if you checked in because we were talking beforehand and I thought, did I leave Brian out? And if I did, I truly apologize. No. Oh, okay.
No, I'm fully here.
Okay. Well, we can all just check out with one word going forward that's opening up in the space right now. Brightness.
Compassion.
Flourish.
Love.
Uniting.
Connection.
Divine light.
Crystal clear cellular light.
Joy.
Sabina, did you check out?
I was at the same time as John, honored and thankful and very happy to see John and Ben again after such a long time. And thank you so much for being here and sharing this together. Hope.
Thank you so much for being in the space together and contributing your words and your energy. It's beautiful. And especially thank you, John, for being here at, what is it now? Almost going on 2 o'clock
3
in the
a.m.
morning. Oh,
Close to 3 a.m., isn't it? For him?
It's convergence time. In fact, if you're willing to, I have one more gift.
Yeah.
Do you guys know Jacob Collier?
No.
Okay. So the Beatles, there's no more songs from the Beatles. This guy is a genius. This is the modern Mozart. This song that I'm going to share with you says everything that we said in the checkout. I said, oh my God. And if you haven't heard this, I think you're going to be so happy I shared this with you. He's from Northern London.